Right now, an 80,000-pound machine is being watched. Not by a state trooper, not by a rival carrier, by a $300 device that will end a driver's career in exactly 11 minutes if he makes the wrong choice. Most people think the danger is the drive. They are completely wrong. The most dangerous moment in a trucker's day is the second he is forced to stop. And there is one specific thing waiting for him when he does. Something that the companies running these stops have spent years engineering to be invisible. You will not find it on any government report. Most drivers don't understand it's happening until it has already cost them thousands. But here is what makes this story different. The driver who pulls into that lot tonight might be legally prohibited from sleeping. Not because he's exhausted, because of what is locked inside his trailer. And if something goes wrong with that cargo, your 10-hour rest period doesn't just get interrupted, it becomes a federal emergency. We'll show you exactly what that cargo is in a few minutes. First, you need to understand the trap that puts every driver here to begin with. The clock that cannot be argued with. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration controls trucking through one instrument, the Electronic Logging Device, or ELD. The moment a driver turns the key, a 14-hour window begins. It does not pause for gridlock. It does not pause because a shipper held you at a loading dock for 4 hours without compensation. It does not care. When that clock hits zero, you stop. If you keep driving to find a safer spot, your company gets flagged and you face career-ending federal penalties. This turns every shift into a desperate race. The destinations drivers race toward are the massive highway chains, Love's, Pilot Flying J, and Travel Centers of America. The public pictures, peaceful rest stops. The reality, over 3.5 million truck drivers, roughly 300,000 legal parking spaces. One spot for every 11 trucks on the road. If you shut down by 4 in the afternoon, you find a spot but lose hundreds in driving time. If you push until 8 or 9 to maximize your paycheck, your odds of finding a legal spot collapse to zero. Local governments make this worse. Ordinances ban commercial vehicles from parking anywhere within city limits. They want the cargo. They treat the driver like a problem to push further down the highway. Lose that race and you become a sitting target on a dark shoulder, waiting for a distracted driver to drift off the road at 70 miles per hour. But let's say you beat the odds. You squeeze into the last legal space, cut the engine. You think the hard part is over. It isn't. You have just parked inside something that will systematically destroy your body's ability to recover and make you more dangerous to every driver sharing the road with you tomorrow. Here's what nobody in this industry will say publicly. A trucker's quality of sleep tonight is a public safety issue for everyone on the highway the next day. The sensory cage. You turn off your engine. The trucks on either side keep theirs running. Diesel engines must idle all night to keep the sleeper berth survivable. This produces a constant low-frequency roar that physically vibrates the cab. Your mattress moves, your windows rattle. And then there are the reefers. Transport refrigeration units haul frozen food across the country. They cycle on and off throughout the night, abruptly, violently, sounding exactly like a jet engine starting up at arm's length from your pillow. You finally drift off. The reefer screams back to life. Your whole cab shakes. You are awake again. The air is a different problem. You are breathing diesel exhaust and pulverized tire rubber through your intake vents all night. Then there are the lights, massive sodium flood lamps running across the entire lot. Even with blackout curtains snapped across the windshield, that light bleeds into the sleeper berth and turns your cab into something closer to a stage than a bedroom. The cumulative effect is what researchers call hypervigilant sleep. Your eyes close, but your brain never reaches deep REM. A primal part of your subconscious stays on guard, processing every air brake hiss, every footstep on gravel, every cab door slamming in the dark. You are not resting. You are defending a multi-$100,000 asset in a high-crime zone, while your body accumulates a sleep debt it can never repay. Night after night, month after month, year after year. And that brings us back to the driver parked 3 feet from your door, the one who may be legally required to stay awake tonight. Here is what is inside his trailer. The cargo that changes everything. Federal law governing Class 1 hazardous materials commercial explosives, volatile industrial chemicals, contains a provision most civilians have never heard of. A driver hauling this cargo cannot leave the vehicle unattended within 300 feet of a crowded public plaza. A busy truck stop qualifies. That driver is not sleeping tonight. He is monitoring pressure valves because if his containment system begins to vent fumes, the protocol is not a polite knock on nearby doors. It is a mandatory hazmat evacuation of the entire lot. At 2 in the morning, in the middle of your federally mandated rest period that cannot be extended. You cannot move your truck. Your clock is running. You sit in a federal emergency zone, and the hours you lose simply disappear. But the hazmat driver next door isn't the most dangerous presence in this lot. Not even close. Before we get into the one cargo type that makes you the single most valuable target in this lot tonight, make sure you're subscribed. This channel covers the side of trucking the industry does not want trending, what operates in the dark. While you deal with the hazmat situation next door, there are other people in that lot who know you are trapped and asleep. Organized cargo theft is not a crime of opportunity. It is a professional operation. Rings target truck stop lots because drivers are legally required to be there. Cameras cover entrances, but rarely the back rows. And they know exactly which trailers carry high-value loads, because that information leaks from logistics networks before the truck ever leaves the shipper's dock. They back up quietly, cut the padlock, and unload tens of thousands of dollars in merchandise while you sleep 4 feet away behind a thin aluminum wall. If you go outside, you are not confronting a petty thief. You are confronting professionals who have done this dozens of times and planned for that moment. Then there is the damage from your own peers. Tonight, a tired driver is trying to back a 53-foot rig into a gap 2 feet wider than his truck in the dark after 14 hours on the road. You lie in your bunk listening to the reverse alarm getting closer. It ends with fiberglass cracking and a mirror torn off. Then the truck drives away. You wake up to thousands of dollars in damage, no footage, no plate, and an insurance claim that will follow your safety record for years. And here is the part that should make every American angry. The companies that built this system figured out a way to extract even more money from the people they already trapped. We'll show you the exact dollar figure in a moment. First, step outside the cab. The biological cost. This is the environment a driver's body absorbs every single night of a career that can span 30 years. The pavement in the back rows is coated in spilled diesel, engine oil, and antifreeze. The far corners of the lot carry a smell that requires no further description. Inside, a hot shower means joining a digital wait list, 50 drivers deep during peak hours. A 2-hour wait burning directly into the sleep window the ELD is already measuring. The food is deep-fried, high sodium, engineered for margin. Fresh vegetables and lean protein exist at prices that make them a luxury. This is not an accident. It is a business model. The health consequences compound over a career. Obesity, sleep apnea, hypertension, cardiovascular disease. The average long-haul driver dies 16 years younger than the national median. 16 years extracted quietly, one bad night at a time. Every one of these pressures is a direct consequence of a system that mandates drivers stop, but refuses to build anywhere safe for them to do it. The highway chains looked at that crisis and saw a revenue stream. The corporate trap. Here is the exact dollar figure we promised you. You are legally required to stop driving. To do it safely, you open an app, built and owned by the same chains running these truck stops, and pay up to $30 for the right to park on asphalt for 10 hours. This is not a premium service. It is a piece of pavement that was previously free, fenced off, monetized, and sold back to the people, the law forces to use it. Most large carriers refuse to reimburse this fee. At $30 a night across a working month, that is over $700 extracted from a driver's take-home pay. Not for fuel, not for equipment, not for a service. Simply for the legal right to comply with federal law. For an independent owner-operator, this is not an inconvenience. It is a slow financial hemorrhage that has driven thousands of experienced drivers out of the profession entirely. You do not get to opt out. You park and pay, or you park on a dark highway shoulder and gamble with your life. and the lives of everyone driving past you at night. When a machine weighing as much as 10 elephants is operated by a driver running on shattered, contaminated sleep, the consequences come off the next exit ramp at 70 miles an hour. The people keeping the American supply chain alive are paying with their health, their savings, and for some of them, their lives. And this is only half the story: the invisible tax. There is a reason experienced drivers call it the invisible tax. You show up on time to the shipping dock. You wait. The dock isn't ready. You wait again. By the time the door opens, you have already lost $200 you will never see on your paycheck. And nothing in your contract, your lease, or federal law requires anyone to acknowledge it happened. The loading dock is where this industry actually breaks its drivers. Not gradually, deliberately, structurally, shift by shift, built into the contracts before the driver ever signs his name. And that story is even darker than this one.